Greetings to you. How can I help?
I'll have a look at the wares.
Maybe next time then. What do you want, you yokel? But make it quick.
What's new around here?
Vostotek. Lord von Beregov's huntsman is a regular here. He might have some work for you. He's got a cottage near Vidlak Pond. So if you know your way around the woods, you could go and offer him your help. I hope he hasn't started drinking somewhere else. He's my best customer. You could also stop by and see Old Mouth. He's the local storyteller. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things, but only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. I'm working on a little practical joke myself. We have this little dispute with the Gelievites. You might be interested. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper. You're having problems with the Gelievites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year, they broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your aim back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Gelievites right away.
Hey, innkeeper, that beer!
All right. I'll help you.
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Geliov, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is. The finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Olbram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Troskowitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right, then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught.
I'll be right with you.
Thanks.
I need something that'll put animals to sleep. Prochek said you might know something.
Well, it's true. I used a concoction that will put even a startled mare to sleep in no time. I once accidentally drank some and slept for 3 days. But the recipe is an old blacksmith's secret. The kind you don't just give away.
Wouldn't you tell a fellow blacksmith? My dad was a swordsmith, and I used to help him a lot.
But you didn't pay much attention, did you now? Otherwise, you'd know the recipe by now, and you wouldn't be asking me.
Well, I don't want it just for the sake of it. I need to use it against the Zhelyov lot.
So, Prochek and Olbram are at it again. Blockheads, both of them. And the place was just getting really nice and quiet lately. Well, what the hell. Maybe if I help you out, they'll start trading punches sooner and get it all over with. Pay up, and I'll tell you the secret.
Thank you. Satisfied?
You really won't convince me like this.
Satisfied?
Look, offer a bit more, and we can make a deal. Aye, I could go for that. Listen up, then. You take some poppy and thistle, and boil them in oil. Then, after it cools off, you add a little herb Paris.
That doesn't sound too complicated. Thank you.
And come again, friend.
I'd like to discuss...
All right.
Satisfied?
We're getting... Finally. I hope you'll be satisfied. Take care.
I've heard you dye your own fabric.
I used to. I tried a few times, but I had to give it up. Troskowitz is on a hill, and there's not enough water for that. Why'd you ask?
I'd like to buy some pigment.
I see. Well, perhaps I could find some leftover black. If you have enough groschen, it's yours.
Ah, damn. That's more money than I thought. Look, I don't need much. Just a bit will do.
Is that so? What do you want it for, anyway?
Nothing important, really.
All right, whatever. But I'd hate to find out you painted on someone's house. You know what? If I scraped off some of that dry pigment from the edges of the bucket and mixed it with some lard, that could work. Those pigments are a magical thing, eh?
What do you mean?
For example, if you need blue, you can use blueberries or woad leaves. You put them in hot water with the fabric and it'll turn blue. Walnuts good too. With the husks of unripe walnuts, you can get a very nice light brown, sometimes even yellow. The best way to make red is from madder root. And when you add alum or beeswing to the water, the colour gets a beautifully rich shade. Or you could just use plain old black elder. The berries, of course, but they're more for lighter shades. Oh, and privet's not too bad either. If you use its bark and alum, you get yellow. You can even use the leaves. They make a nice green, but it takes forever. But you know what's my favourite way of making yellow? Using dyer's broom or weld. You take a few nice stems, some leaves, a bit of alum, and you get yellow, as bright as a chick's feathers. And for so much cheaper than using saffron or iris, that's the main thing. Buckthorn makes a nice green, maybe the best of all. You use its fruit. They say it can also heal, but I've never tried that. The most important part is the stain, anyway. Like alum, but even that won't help you if you don't know what to use for what colour. Sometimes you... Too bad I don't dye fabric much anymore. But I see you're really into it. You know what? Take some of it, for free.
My word. Thank you so much.
Oh, not worth mentioning. Just be careful not to stain yourself. Quality material like this doesn't wash off easily.
What are you poking around that door for, huh?
Greetings. Was möchtest du?
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to discuss the price.
Warum nicht?
Do we have a deal?
That's more like it. Just a bit more. Aye, you... I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
What's that? Huh?
You silly doggy.
Careful.
You're not allowed here. That's it. Go
I
now.
must be mad.
Nice out today. Hope it lasts.
What was that?
It's just you.
And I was beginning to worry what that was. But it's just you. What are you doing? Good doggy. Good boy.
Go sniff somewhere else. Get out! I'll find you. Don't you worry.
All right. What am I gonna do with you? Aye. This'll be good.
Do you have enough onions for the soup?
Aye, of course.
Take care for now.
Why do you and the Zhelyov lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial, but the Zhelyevites took it from us.
Well, did you get it sorted out? Hopefully.
And how did they take it from you?
My partner left me.
You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Zhelyov.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Zhelyevites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Olbram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Zhelyevites are at wit's end, they come at us. And nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
It's done. Olbram's bull isn't as white as it used to be.
I knew you wouldn't let me down, mate. Olbram must be having a fit. I can almost see it.
To hell with the fucking pricks. The lousy cities are...
All right, then. Here's the reward I promised you. Every last groschen.
Thanks.
And since you already got caught up in our little dispute, maybe you can help me with something else.
So, what can I help the Takovites with this time?
We're planning to meet with the Geliovites in the pasture that they keep arguing with us about. We'll sort it all out with them there. Nicely. Man to man. Wouldn't you like to join us?
Why not? After painting that bull, it would actually be quite a pleasant change to talk things over face to face.
Aye. Talk. We'll get into a huge argument and then start punching each other in the gob. So then, should I send for Olbram so we can get going?
Wouldn't you rather call an end to this endless feud with the Geliovites? That way, you'd each have half of the pasture, and everyone's happy, no?
Chance would be a fine thing. Olbram will never give up. He says the whole pasture is his.
The borders by the orchard, that's where I got my ass kicked.
Who knows what the old fool got his ass kicked for back then.
You should talk to the bailiff and get him to support you.
Thrush? He already said ages ago he doesn't want to get involved. He even threatened us with the stocks if we keep bothering him.
Well, as you wish. You know what? I'll go have a talk with Thrush. Would you wait for me for a bit?
All right, but don't get your hopes up. And don't you go ganging up with them Gelioff bastards against us. Take care for now.
Good to see you, friend.
I came because of the arguments between Takov and Geliov.
What happened this time? Did Olbram piss in Prochek's ale barrels again like last year?
No, but they're getting ready to meet up and beat each other up.
Let them do it then! Maybe a few knocks to the skull will do them good, and they'll leave me alone.
Well, you wouldn't let them fight over nothing, would you? They're arguing over that stupid pasture, aren't they? Is there really nobody who remembers which town it rightfully belongs to?
Nobody who could be trusted not to be making it up. After all, what business is it of mine? Let them kill each other for all I care. Worst case, I'll have to clap them all in the pillory. That should sort them out.
I'm sure you have enough worries as is. And the Takovites and Geliovites are just wasting your time. Wouldn't it be worth it to sort it out?
That it would. Bandits are running wild. My daughter is leaving the house. I don't have time for those morons right now. How the fuck am I supposed to find out who the pasture belongs to? I looked in the chronicle. Things like that tend to be there. But Bailiff Brada, who was here before me, must have been a lunatic. You'd have to be mad to make any sense of that book.
Then let me have a look. I may not be mad, but maybe I'll find something you overlooked. You won't have to worry about anything.
You want to touch such a rare book with those filthy peasant hands? Have you lost your mind?
Filthy peasant hands? Do you know how many books I've read? And I never fold corners. If there's anything actually useful in the Chronicle, I'll find it.
Fine, have it your way. Maybe you'll manage to make some sense of Brada's bullshit. But if I find out you've even opened that book too harshly, you'll have me to answer to.
Good day.
God bless. Did you hear who died?
Ha! I thought it was old Bart, but then I heard him coughing his lungs up in the yard again today.
Not a chance. That old coot will outlive us all.
No, it was Jan, the beanpole.
Him? He was fit as a fiddle. What
I'll
happened?
grant you
They
health.
say he went to bed healthy, but never
woke up. It's a mystery.
God, that's terrible.
His mother said he'd been complaining he couldn't feel his left arm, and that he was seeing things.
And he was dead in the morning. Poor thing.
He had his whole life in front of him. The next thing you know, he's being buried.
Have you seen Bailiff Thrush?
I have. He's been grinning like a daisy on a dung heap for days on end. And he's all puffed up like a peacock.
So what? I wish him well.
So do I. I meant it in a good way. He's a decent fella.
Indeed he is. He's worked so hard to get to where he is today. Lord Seming should be glad Thrush gave Agnes his hand to his son.
And they say Agnes will get a nice dowry on top of it.
This Latin phrase looks important. Otherwise it wouldn't be written in red, would it? Fecit ordinem in region ope claviferae. I should try to find somebody who could translate it for me. I need to translate something from Latin. You're an educated man, aren't you? Would you help me?
What is it you need to translate?
Fecit ordinem in regione ope claviferae.
That's definitely Latin, but what could it mean? In regione is obvious. That's in the country or region. Fecit ordinem is something like to bring order. And claviferae means iron spike or maybe nail. So, brought order to the region with the help of an iron nail. Where did you hear that nonsense?
That's not important. The main thing is I know what it means, and hopefully it'll help me in my work. Thank you.
Till we meet again.
Quick!
God be with you, good man.
Ka! Ka! God. Ah, here's the damn nail. Right in the middle of the pasture. Olbram and Prochek won't be happy.
Keep the peace, and we won't have any problems. I wish him well.
So do I. I meant it in a good way. He's a...
Indeed he is. He's worked so hard to get to where
I finally found the damn border between the Takhov and Zhelyov parts of the pasture.
How the hell did you manage that?
I found it in that chronicle of yours. It wasn't easy, but we can finally put an end to all that endless fighting.
Oh, about fucking time. So then, are you sure you found the right place?
Definitely. Bailiff Brada took iron nails and used them to mark the border so that people wouldn't forget where it is. One of them is in the oak tree on the pasture.
That's nice of him and all, but he could have fucking told somebody about it. Who can make sense of those writings of his?
God be with you.
At least Olbram and Prochek will leave us alone now. Go to them, and when you all meet in the pasture, I'll ride over and settle this nonsense once and for all. And if those two start arguing again, I'll be hammering nails into their arses instead of trees.
Greetings. At least you know when to round up the cattle and gather in the hay.
I'll have a beer when I'm old and infirm.
Greetings, what do you need?
I heard about this fella who always got heartburn just before it snowed.
I sorted everything out. Let's go and meet the Zhelyovites and have a discussion.
Finally! Come on, let's call the lads over and send for Olbram. Well, Zhelyovites, did you miss us?
Of course they did. I reckon they hardly slept a wink.
Can you blame them? I'd rather come and get a beating than hang around in Zhelyov too. You see? They're provoking us again. There's no use trying to negotiate with them.
There's nothing to negotiate, old man. The pasture is ours, and that's final.
Bullshit! You know right well that I got smacked around as a child in that orchard, right over there.
You know what? Now you'll get smacked around here too.
Enough! Does anybody here have anything better to do?
Trust? What are you doing here?
This shouldn't concern you, Bailiff. We'll just beat those bastards' arses and go home.
Don't you think there's been enough fighting and nonsense?
I won't tolerate this nonsense in my territory.
Tell that to the Zhelyovites. Maybe they'll finally get it into their thick heads that this pasture is ours.
In your dreams, you Takovite swine!
Kurva! Be quiet already!
You're both wrong. The pasture is split in half. From here to that oak over there is Zhelyov property, and from the oak on, it belongs to Takhov.
We're supposed to share with them? Ha!
How do you know? You're not even from around here.
But unlike you, yokels, he can read. It's all there, black on white, in the Troskowitz chronicle. So you'll obey it and finally give it a rest.
They've done so much to hurt us. They should have to make it up to us. Make them pay.
None of that. They're the ones always provoking us. You know what?
Let's give them a nice final bashing.
Knock it off already. Haven't you had enough of all this senseless arguing over the years? All those worthless problems and wasted time? Can't you just shake hands and make up?
That's right. From this point forward, this dispute is over. And if I hear about anyone causing trouble again, I'll have you all clapped in the pillory. Together. Now pack up and go home.
Well, Grandpa.
Greetings
Are
to
you
you.
satisfied?
Greetings to you.
Excuse me.
Not a bit like it.
Now, I hope the Takovites and Jeliovites won't be at each other's throats for a while.
I can hardly believe it. I'm sure Lord von Berghoff will be delighted with how I handled it.
How you handled it?
Aye? With a little help from you. True enough. It's nice that someone deals with problems instead of making more for a change.
Thank you is nice and all, but it's customary to add a few groschen, too.
Groschen? Easy for you to say, but where to get them? The harvest was poor last year, the winter was harsh, and the rat house needs fixing. Since you did so well with the chronicle, I have another book of knowledge for you. I didn't get much out of it myself, but maybe you'll find something revealing in it. That's a damn fine reward, don't you think?
My word. Thank you.